Tonight, a developing story out of Washington. The highly controversial Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy preventing gays and lesbians from openly serving in the military appears to be headed for the history books.
After today, no one can be outed, no one can be dismissed, no one will be asked to stop their service because of their sexual orientation.
In a rare weekend session, the Senate voted to repeal the controversial measure and now heads for the president's desk of President Barack Obama, who is also in favor of its demise. But opponents of the repeal argued it would only be a distraction to the troops.
I can only tell you that those in close combat units have the most concern about repealing this policy.
The president applauded the vote, and the White House says he will sign the measure next week. It is a decision a Tampa resident and former U.S. Army soldier says is far overdue, but isn't the end of the discussion. Our Allison Morrow continues our in-depth coverage with his story. Allison?
Yeah, Serena, former U.S. soldier Lincoln Calcavecchi says life in the military was easier before Don't Ask, Don't Tell, but he's not sure the policy's repeal will make life any easier in the immediate future. Almost as soon as he got his high school diploma, Lincoln Calcavecchi says he enlisted in the Army for financial help with college.
Parts of me were drawn to the more regimented, quote-unquote, disciplined lifestyle.
He left after just 4 years, but says he decided to return a decade later to pursue certain goals he felt he left unfinished.
So that when I had accomplished those things, I could say, I finished this. I can close the book on the military.
But it wasn't reaching those goals that prompted Calcavecchi to close the book on the military. He left for the man who became his husband because he says he didn't want to ask his partner to live what he calls an unfair secret. A secret life his fellow soldiers didn't have to live.
They could talk about all their stuff, and they may have known or surmised about me, but I couldn't talk about mine.
Calcavecchi says it's about time the policy was repealed, though he does worry about potential violence that may result.
There is a possibility that we're going to see some things happening to gay men and lesbians after they come out.
So even though Calcavecchi believes a battle's been won, he says the entire fight is far from over. A scenario, he says, the military knows well.
This is one success on the battlefront. It's not a success in the entire war. It's stages, successive stages of winning until you finally get the end result.
Calcavecchi adds that the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell will begin to create a culture of acceptance. That culture continuing to spread, he says, will take time, but he is hopeful. Serena.
Thank you so much, Allison.